Allies' high-stakes meeting in Delhi yesterday, the BJP CEC is set to hold a top-level meeting to finalize seat-sharing arrangements ahead of the Bihar Assembly polls. Now, as per sources inside the BJP, the NDA seat-sharing formula is locked and will be declared soon. Remember, important to understand that NDA ally HAM leader Jitan Manjhi has expressed dissatisfaction with the proposed allocation, feeling that the offer of about 7 to 8 seats fell short of his expectation of 15. On the other hand, Chirag Paswan had also insisted that a greater share be given to him, but most likely Chirag Paswan will in fact have to settle at 26 seats. Remember that NDA allies, including top leaders from JDU, have arrived in Delhi, and it is also being reported that about 90 to 100 seats have been finalized for the Bihar Assembly polls. As per sources inside NDA camp, BJP is likely to get around 100 seats, while the JDU will be contesting on about 101 seats. Let's also look at how this entire seat-sharing arrangement is in fact panning out. Like I mentioned that the BJP CEC meeting regarding the Bihar Assembly polls will take place today. We know that there have been several meetings by the NDA with different stakeholders, rather allies, to understand the seat-sharing arrangement. Let's also have a look at this. Now, as per this is an inside scoop on the India bloc. In fact, it's important to understand that all of this comes from us through the sources which tell us that it's important to understand that the NDA seat-sharing arrangement is of that sort that there are several stakeholders involved in this. Important to understand that at the very center of the alliance is, of course, JDU as well as BJP. Now, like I mentioned, that the BJP is expected to have about 100 seats in this. Like I mentioned, that there are talks that are happening at this moment as we speak, but about 90 to 100 seats have been finalized when it comes to, of course, the NDA seat-sharing arrangement, with JDU getting 101 seats and the LJP getting 26 seats. Remember that there have been many talks that have occurred with Chirag Paswan. We've seen visuals of it come in day out of several leaders meeting Chirag Paswan. We've seen Dharmendra Pradhan in fact meet. We've also seen MOS Nityanand meet Chirag Paswan regarding this, and the seat-sharing arrangement is said to have been locked at 26 seats. Apart from this, the HAM, which is of course the Hindustani Awam Morcha, is at 7 seats with the RLM at 6 seats. So this is what the seat-sharing arrangement is looking like for the NDA. We know that there are different sort of arrangements that are being worked out for this time for the elections. Let's also take a look at the Mahagathbandhan talks. It's important to understand that, of course, when it comes to the Mahagathbandhan, they are likely to announce the seat-sharing distribution among the allies on Sunday, which is, of course, today. Tejasvi Yadav, remember, is the leader of the principal ally RJD, who may visit Delhi at night to hold a final round of talks with, of course, Congress leaders before the much-awaited announcement of the list of party candidates is expected to take place. Tejasvi Yadav's visit comes, of course, in the backdrop of reports that it has been agreed that he will be the chief ministerial face of the India bloc. Now, it is likely that the Mahagathbandhan will project 3 deputy chief ministers. The seat sharing, however, we've been told, continues to remain an issue. According to sources, the seats over which the allies are yet to reach a consensus are Baisi, Bahadurgarh, Raniganj, Kahalgaon and Saharsa. Interestingly, the Congress had contested in the Kahalgaon and Bahadurpur seats last time, and the RJD in fact fought in Saharsa. Now, Baisi and Raniganj were of course contested by both parties, but both parties in fact failed to secure any one of them. The Congress, which has been given 2 seats from its quota to the India Inclusive Alliance, initially decided to hand over the Saharsa seat to its ally for the polls, but it seems as though the RJD has now staked claim on the seat as per sources. Let's also try and understand what exactly, the seat-sharing arrangement looks like of the Mahagathbandhan. It's important to understand that, like I mentioned, Tejasvi Yadav is declared to be the chief ministerial face when it comes to the Mahagathbandhan. Remember that his party, the RJD, is the principal ally. So it's important to understand that this is the CM face of the Mahagathbandhan. Apart from this, there is said to have been agreement to 95% of the seats. This is, of course, exclusive information coming in from sources to NDTV. Apart from this, there's also talks about there being stuck on several seats. Like I mentioned, that there are several seats like Saharsa, Raniganj, Baisi, in which the talk seems to have been stalled when it comes to, of course, the seat-sharing arrangement between the allies as well as, of course, the RJD. So it's also important to understand that it seems to be stuck in several seats. The Simanchal seems to be a bone of contention. And talking about bone of contentions, it's also important to talk about the JMM, which seems to be stuck when it comes to the seat sharing arrangement, and has in fact even issued an ultimatum to, of course, the RJD when it comes to this, and has said that the seat sharing arrangement needs to be finalized by maximum the 15th of October, which is of course this month. It's about next week from now onwards. So Simanchal seems to be a bone of contention. Different parties are trying to sort of navigate and get the highest stake of arrangements when it comes to the seat sharing in Bihar. Let's also try and understand what the seat sharing numbers from the Mahagathbandhan looks like. This is of course an inside scoop. This comes directly from sources to NDTV. So let's also have a look at this. Like I said, that there will be 3 deputy chief ministers. In fact, look at the parties which form the Mahagathbandhan. In fact, there of course is the RJD, which is projected to have about 134 to 135 seats. Like I mentioned, that this is the principal ally. This is the party that sort of anchors and around which the other allies are sort of based. It's important to understand there's also the Congress, which is projected to get about 54 to 55 seats. There is the CPI-ML, which gets about 20 to 21 seats this time around in the elections. The CPI gets 6, the CPM gets 4, and the VIP gets about 15 to 16 seats, with other parties like the JMM, the RLJP and the IIP, which get about 6 to 7 seats. Like I mentioned, that the JMM has contentions with respect to the seats that it's been given, because it's also said that it wants what it calls a respectable number when it comes to seats in the Bihar Assembly polls.